Everyone, this is Leah, and I am coming to you alone, as you can see, from my nephew's bedroom. So I apologize for the pirate in the background, but I forgot to hit record yesterday, and I was going to type a recap, which I always give a recap, but I was going to type a much longer recap and give you all the details. But I thought, you know what? If you're like me, you want to hear this. You don't necessarily want to read about it. So I'm going to re-record, and I apologize again. It's been a rough week. So thank you so much for your patience with me. But I have the chat. So I'm going to be looking over here for the chat and trying to recreate the meeting as best I can. So our meeting yesterday was all about how to have a perfect animal Reiki session and the tips for having a successful animal Reiki session. And so I just want to talk to you about that right now. Well, first of all, let's talk about the let animals lead method of animal Reiki. So we embrace a very unique approach to animal Reiki sessions, much different than any other animal Reiki school out there. Each session is tailored to the animal's comfort, preference, and needs. And we support their choice whether they want to accept this beautiful session that we're going to share or not. And I will say, with the let animals lead method, overwhelmingly, it's almost 100% of the time they're going to say yes. And there's a reason for that. And we're going to talk about that reason. But we focus on the animal's autonomy, which really sets us apart from all the other schools. We don't beam, we don't corner animals, we don't tie animals up. We make sure that they have freedom. In fact, some of the golden rules that we always follow are freedom of movement for the animal. We never beam or direct energy, and we honor the animal's agency, which means, we honor their choice. We honor what they prefer. So what does a perfect session, if you're going to think about that, what does it look like? Well, for us, a perfect session might look like, the animal immediately accepts, the Reiki space, and they lay down, and maybe they come up to us and lean against us. Maybe they come up for a comforting hand touch, whatever that is. And then they lay down, sleep during the session, or they yawn, or they're really relaxed. And at the end of the session, maybe they come up and they thank us by giving us a kiss or acknowledging us, whatever that is. That's our idea of a perfect session, right? But for an animal, if we think about them, and right, we're just talking about their agency, their autonomy, what does a perfect session look like to them? Well, to them, it might look a little different. To a horse, it might mean that they stand 20 feet away from you and they graze. To a dog in a shelter, it might mean that they curl up in a corner with their back to you. To a cat in a house might mean that they go to their favorite hiding place. To a dog on the streets, it might mean that they maybe keep walking, keep moving, but they're still accepting it. Animals may look like they're still active, but that doesn't mean that they're not getting any benefit from it. So we really have to check with ourselves and say, well, what are my expectations? And even if we say, well, I have no expectations, I just want to hold this space, we all have expectations. I've been doing this for 16 years. I'm telling you right now, if I sit in a room with a dog and I'm sharing Reiki and that dog gets up and goes in the next room, immediately my mind says, oh my gosh, they no longer want the session with me. And of course, I bring myself back and say, no, that's ridiculous. Just keep meditating. But there is that human emotion, right? Our ego gets involved. So you're going to have those moments. It's not like you're not going to, but we want to make sure that we do everything to help you have a perfect session. So, one quick note too. If you're a stranger to the animal, that's going to make a huge difference in their acceptance of you. So when I would go to the shelter and offer Reiki, let's say I went in with a dog for the very first time. Dog didn't know me, and the dog was just jumping, jumping, jumping. So I would go in and I would offer it, but really the dog would only stop jumping maybe like about 5 minutes out of the 30 minutes of my session. So there wasn't really a lot of calm behavior. But this is one of the reasons why we always recommend 4 sessions, whether they're in a row, in person, or via distance, whatever you prefer. So like the second time he would calm down, third time. By the 4th session, the animal is completely out because they know you, they trust you. But when you're with a strange dog, they don't know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know how to act. They don't know if they can trust you. So you always have to give a strange animal a lot more leeway than, or a lot more understanding than you would maybe if it was your own dog, because you're a stranger. So you have to recognize, just like if a stranger came up to you and said, "Oh, hey, I want to give you a massage," or "I want to do meditation with you." And you're like, "Oh, okay, but I don't know you. And I don't even know if I'm ready." So there's a lot of, considerations to think about when you're going in with an animal that is a stranger. But we have some ways that can combat that that first initial distrust, and it's really one of our, what I like to call our secret sauces. So oh, I have notes here. So sorry, I have to like look at this. And then, oh yeah, and remember, when we're sharing our energetic space with the animals, we're not trying to fix or heal anything. And the reason for that being is that when we take on the energy of, "I am here to fix you, I am here to heal you," then we're putting ourselves above the animal. We're saying to the animal, "You're broken, you need to be fixed, and I am above you and I'm here to fix you." That's not the energy that we want to share with an animal, because already it sets up a tone. And especially with a strange animal, an animal that doesn't know you at all, immediately their hackles are going to go up and go, "Wait a minute, I don't even know you. You're telling me I'm broken, and you're telling me you're going to fix me?" No. So we really want to be careful with our thoughts and what we're doing. What we're doing in the Let Animals Lead method is we're just sharing a beautiful space of love and compassion. That's it. We're just meditating, bringing peace into our bodies, and we're creating a beautiful circle of just love, compassion, joy, peace. And that's what the animals are attracted to. We're not trying to heal, we're not trying to fix, we're not trying to do anything outward. We're just holding space for these animals. And in that beautiful space, that is where healing can occur. That's where the animal can let go of maybe some emotional issues. That's where the animal can truly relax. And in a relaxed state, an animal, just like humans, can heal. So the same benefits that humans get from meditation, animals get from meditation. So let's get into all of the ways, the different tips I have for you to have an incredible session and get buy-in almost 100% of the time. And yes, I can say that because our techniques are so incredible and they work. So there's a lot of them. Please have patience with me, but I'm telling you, if you do them all, you are going to have the most amazing session. Now, if you want my list of all of these tips and you're seeing this on a replay or on YouTube, the only way you can get these tips is if you're on our mailing list, because I'm mailing these in the recap. So if you didn't get the recap, just reach out to me at Leah, Leah, at shelteranimalreikiassociation.org, and I will be sure to send you this list of tips. So let's get into it. First of all, you have to decide right away, how much time do you have to spare? Do you have 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes? You need to make a commitment to your time and then stick to it. Now, you might get interrupted by a human during that time, and you might have to end early, and that's really fine. But if you're making a commitment to sit with an animal, no matter what happens, remember, they might come and go, they might leave the room. That's okay. Let's stick to our commitment. Now you got to check in with yourself. And this is so important. What are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling stressed from your day? Whatever you're feeling, you need to stop and do a recalculation of your energy and your emotions. So we can do that really easily through the precepts. You can do it through the smiling meditation. So that's the gratitude meditation where we close our eyes, we think of something that brings us intense joy. So for me, for those of you who know me, it's bunnies. It's the word bunnies. I cannot even say it without smiling and cracking up. So that's what I use when I bring myself into a balance. But you can say whatever you want. Just think about something that you love, either a place, a person, an animal, and then allow yourself to feel that joy. Okay, and then that will kind of reset you. Or you can do the all is well mantra, just repeating all is well, all is well, all is well. Or you can just use your breath, you can use like the 4 square breath, breathing in to the count of 4, holding for the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 4, pausing for the count of 4, that square breath, whatever it is that makes you feel calm. So Number 3, make sure you're comfortable. This is so important too. There's so many important, everything's important, but making sure you're comfortable. Are you wearing tight pants? Are you wearing uncomfortable shoes? Whatever it is, make sure you're super comfortable and that you feel at ease in your body. Speaking of feeling at ease in your body, make sure that all your needs have been met, right? So that you have water, you've eaten, everything has been met. Don't feel like, oh, I'm gonna have to, use the restroom, whatever that is. Now, remove all distractions. Make sure your phone is on silent. Make sure all your notifications are turned off so that you can do your session and not be disturbed at all. Now, here is the secret sauce tip number 1. Do you want to know why animals overwhelmingly say yes to us? Because when we go in with them, we go in with love and gratitude. Immediately when we see them, we say, oh my gosh, I am so happy to be here with you. I am so honored to be here with you. Oh my gosh, I have so much love in my heart for you, and I cannot wait to spend time with you. That right there, that immediate joy, that immediate love starts to diffuse doubts. It starts to make an animal say, oh, this actually feels good. This isn't scary. But if we go in, okay, I'm going to be meditating with you, and everything's really down and everything's really serious, then they're like, I don't know what this is. That's how the vet acts when the vet comes in to give me a shot. So we want to make sure that we're super joyful. We're really grateful because we are. The time that we spend with these animals is so incredibly important, not only to them, but to us. So just make sure that you have gratitude in your heart. It's so important. Now, decide where you're going to be during the session. So you've said hello, you've shown gratitude. If you're in, like, let's say a shelter enclosure, you want to make sure, like if the dog is like bouncing, okay, you're going to probably have to stand. But you want to make sure you're not like cornering the dog or standing in a way, like if you're with a cat, that you're over the animal. You want to make sure that you're like either eye level or below. And then you always want to make sure that they can move freely, right? So you know where you're going to be. Make sure that you're not blocking any kind of exit for them. You want to make sure that if you're standing in a pasture, that you're standing outside on the fence. You don't necessarily want to go inside the pasture, just in case, just for your own safety. And this way, if you want to close your eyes during the meditation, you can. We always want to make sure that the animal has freedom of movement. And that's really important in our system, that we always allow freedom of movement. We never hold the animal. We never cross tie a horse. We never put a dog on a leash, unless you're doing a walking meditation. It's different, but we're never restraining the animal so that they can't move. If you're in a house and you're at someone's house sharing Reiki with their animal, make sure that the animal has freedom. If they want to shut the doors, ask if it's okay to leave them open. They might want to shut them just to cut out distractions, but let's make sure that you and the animal are comfortable, but the animal has freedom, because that's going to set the tone for the animal. If the animal can see, oh, I have exits, that's really going to set the tone for them. Then tell the animal, okay, so this is not animal communication. I want to say this right up the bat. This isn't animal communication, but you do want to tell the animal, because they understand why you're there and what you're going to do. So something like, I'm really excited to be here with you and share a meditation session. So this is not animal communication. You don't expect an answer back. I'm not an animal communicator, so I don't sit and wait for an answer, because I would be waiting forever because I can't really hear them. So do you just want to tell them, like, look, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sitting quietly here. And now we ask the animal's permission. This is secret sauce number 2, asking the animal's permission. So we say, I'm going to do a meditation, and I would love for you to join me or not. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. Again, we're not waiting for an answer, but we're letting the animal know that they have complete power over this. They can leave the room and leave us and not even join us at all. And animals will test you. Just FYI, they will test this theory. So that's our secret sauce number 2. So number 1 is gratitude. Number 2, ask permission. Now, secret sauce number 3, we always want to ask the animal for their help. Why is that important? We never ask animals for their help. We're always like, I'm the human, I'm above you, I'm going to feed you, I'm going to take you places, blah, 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 blah. We never honor them as teachers and healers and gurus, right? So you can say, hey, this is what I say personally. I say, I am so not good at meditation. My mind wanders. I would love it if you would meditate with me, if you would just hold space for me so that I can go deep into a quiet space. And overwhelmingly, animals are like, what? Okay, I would love to help you. I'm not guaranteeing they're going to say that, but a lot of times they do. Just watch their movements, watch how they might sit and watch you. But you'll feel too in your body when you start to go deeper. I always know when an animal connects only because when I meditate by myself, it's kind of like more here. But when I meditate with an animal, boom, they bring me up to their level, which animals operate up here. They operate in this space above the human body that is a space where love exists, peace, calm. And when they're healthy, they can easily access that space. But when they're not, they can't. And that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here to help them. So ask for their help. So secret sauces, gratitude, ask permission to be there, and ask for their help. Those are the secret ingredients that will, boom, enhance your animal Reiki session. I promise you. So now we're going to set our intention for the session, right? So setting your intention is it's so important because you have to have an intention for your session. It will really, it's just like when you meditate on calm or headspace. If you don't set your intention, I intend for this meditation to bring peace to my body. I intend for this meditation to help me release the stress that I'm holding on to. If you don't set your intention, you're really just having kind of like an adult timeout, a quiet time. But when we set our intention, it's really powerful. We're saying like, this is what I intend for this session. And when we intend something, we usually get it. So we set our intention, and your intention could be, I'm open to receive whatever it is that I need most in this moment in time and whatever the animal needs most, right? I'm open to holding space for this beautiful animal and for all sentient beings, or whatever that is that you feel comfortable. Now, I always say, I set my intention that I set my intention that I am open to receive whatever it is that I need most and whatever it is that the animal needs most. And that way, that when I'm in that session, I'm honoring that session as not so much me giving to the animal and the animal receiving. It's more the intention that we're both going to be giving and receiving freely, right? And that is really what happens in an animal Reiki session. We aren't giving something that the animals are then taking and then nothing's coming back at us. With an animal, when you sit with them in that open, beautiful space, it is an infinity. It's just giving and receiving back and forth there. And you get into a space where you don't even feel the giving and receiving. It's just this beautiful space of calm, peace, and love. So now you're ready to begin the session. And want to make sure, remember, no distractions. And I just want to go to my chat here because this is where people were starting to comment. And let's see, Anne said, this isn't a time to multitask. And then, when I was talking about being joyful, being grateful, Alice made a comment, Alice Rugheimer made a comment that animals like to be playful. Isn't that the truth? Animals want us to be playful. So when we're going to sit with them in this session, make sure that your heart, your mind are open, that you're not all, and then getting ready for the session and not having expectations, right? Right before we get to start, we want to make sure we're letting go of all expectations. And Diane says, I accept whatever happens during a session. I just am happy to be participating in it. It always makes me feel good during every single session. And I always feel that every session went the way it was meant to. So when we let go of our attachments and judgments to how this should look, we can actually open up the space for anything to come. And I love how Diane says that she believes, because of her openness, that every session went well. And I love that, because every session you do with an animal is going to go well, because it may not look the way you want it to, but trust me, your energy, your love is powerful, and the animal will feel it. And then, Mary Lynn, she's caring for chickens and sheep for her neighbors. And now they are more comfortable with her, because when she goes to see them now, this was after last week we had a talk about this, she is approaching them with a joyful and friendly behavior. Simple, but very powerful. So getting back to our tips. Okay, now you're ready to start. Make sure you let go of your attachments and your judgments. And now just give yourself time to settle into your body. Give yourself time, maybe do the gratitude meditation, just breathing in. If you're a Reiki practitioner, Joshin Kokyo Ho, you can do the healing bridge, whatever meditation is going to bring you into that beautiful, quiet space. And now allow the animals to move, or animal to move freely, to come and go. Don't worry if they leave, just keep meditating. Because I'm telling you, especially new animals, if you tell them you have freedom of movement and you go into meditation, they're going to leave. They're going to leave and they're going to pop around the corner and go, she said she would, and she's not chasing me. They might come back, or they might just go and take it in a room that makes them feel comfortable. Just don't worry about it. Just know, remember, you're connected to them. Wherever they go, so do you. Your love, your compassion, your energy. You are this big sun that has come into their space, and your rays are shining everywhere. And in fact, your rays are shining so far and all around you. You have no idea who else is enjoying this beautiful space with you. It could be insects, it could be flowers, it could be the trees, it could be anything. So just be open to holding space. Okay, so now you've done your session for however long. When your time is up, set your intention that I'm closing the meditation. Now, we're not closing the energy of our heart. We're not even closing the connection with the animal. We're just closing this formal meditation. We're no longer going to be sitting quietly. It's really important. Once we set our intention to end, we thank the animal. Again, we bring gratitude back in, and we thank the animal for their time with us. And we tell them how important it was to us and how much it meant to us and how much we loved spending time and how we are so appreciative of whatever connection, even if it was none, that they made with us, right? Just allowing us to be in that space was permission, right? So let's thank them, and lots of joy, lots and lots of joy, because it makes them happy. I mean, how happy do you feel when someone comes up and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful you did this," or "Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful you said that to me." Our heart expands. So imagine if we thank an animal for just this little bit of time where it was just this beautiful session and we didn't expect anything of them. Imagine how that will make them feel. So always make sure you share gratitude in your heart when you end. So, we had a question from Alice. Do you always stay with them physically until they come out of a trance? And that's a really good question. We don't. We allow the animal to stay sleeping or resting, or whatever that is, and we don't disturb them. We end quietly. We can thank them quietly in our mind. We don't have to say it out loud. And then we quietly remove ourselves. Now, if you are somewhere where, like last week, Barbara Durnell had a question. I said her name so weird, Barbara. Barbara Durnell had a question about when she goes to the vet's office and her cat is lying on the table and has needles in it, and the vet leaves. Barbara offers Reiki. But sometimes the vet comes in before Barbara's done, and Barbara is worried that when she stops the session that she's jolting her cat out of it. So what we can do is we don't have to end the session when someone walks in and disturbs us. We keep our heart and the energy just flowing. And what we can do is we can talk very softly and calmly like this. And when you do, their energy will start to come down because you're not matching their energy. You know, people like their energy matched. So if you talk quietly, or if you say, "Oh, I've got an animal resting," then they're going to match that. And it's really interesting how animals, when your attention is completely off them, even though you're offering this beautiful session and your attention is going inward, right? And we really didn't talk about that. You always want to make sure your attention is going inward, not outward, not focusing on the animal. That when you're talking to a human, they feel that kind of disconnect of thinking about them. And then they go deeper into the session. So it's almost like as soon as you release your attention, your physical attention on them, they go. So that's something really important to remember, that when you leave, it's like when a bell's being rung and that sound vibrates outwards, right? Reverberates out. Then it's still going for a long time. So is your energy. So don't start, and this is one thing, don't start thinking, "Oh, I wish, that the session would have been better. I wish the animal would have stayed. I wish," because now you're bringing doubt and worry to the session. You're still connected with that animal. The energy is still there. So don't ruin the session by bringing in self-doubt. No, trust that your energy is so strong. Trust me, I cannot even emphasize this enough. Your energy is so strong, which is why the more you go inward, the bigger your energy is outward. And it seems counterintuitive, but the more you focus on your breath, the more you focus on peace and calm in your body, the stronger your energy is going out. So just trust, no matter what it looked like on the outside, trust that the animal got exactly what they needed. Like Diane said, it always makes her feel good to know that the session went exactly as it should. So trust that and always keep negative words, negative emotions out. And I will tell you a time when I was cleaning a horse's stall at a boarding facility. It was actually the manager's horse. It was a friend and we had seen that this horse's stall was so dirty. It was just awful. And so we thought, you know what, we're just going to clean this horse's stall. But in the cleaning of the stall, we started talking about the horse's person and not very nicely. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she would let the horse live like this. And you could see the horse getting depressed. So my friend who also did the Let Animals Leave method, we were like, oh no, we cannot do this. So we immediately went into that space of gratitude and love and just started, as we're doing our work, just keeping that beautiful meditative space of calm, peace, and love, and telling the horse how much his person loved him and how special this horse was to this person, right? And we were so sorry, and just going on. And you don't want to like dwell on the fact, oh, I'm so sorry. You can say, I'm so sorry I said that, and then just go on and be positive and be loving, because that shift helped that horse so much. Then the horse was happy. The horse was energetic when we left. It was a beautiful situation when we left. But really be mindful. Don't talk negatively about yourself, about the animal situation, or anything else. So Miranda, speaking of trusting that our energy is big, Miranda Jensen is from Aruba. And Miranda had a question about her situation in Aruba. So in Aruba, there are a lot of street dogs, and Miranda dedicates and volunteers her time to a shelter on Aruba. And it's very overwhelming and it's very depressing because a lot of the animals are in dire straits. They're like, the street dogs are very skinny. Some of them have diseases. Some of them are in really bad shape. And Miranda gets overwhelmed and upset by this. So, and she feels helpless, right? You would too, if it was just, you're one person, and she hasn't been doing animal Reiki for very long. And I know that feeling, Miranda, when you're by yourself, it can be super overwhelming. And I know we got some messages in about this. So let me see. Oh, really quickly, back to the comments. When I was talking about being negative, Margot Hefner said she totally agrees that, and she's glad that I brought this up, because when she has been in session at times, her mind wanders about the condition of the animal or any negative thought, and immediately a thought would come out and tell me exactly what you said about staying positive and healthy. So thank you for confirming that. And that's so important. And even when we're talking about these street dogs, right? When we're talking about the street dogs, guess what? We're connecting to the street dogs. So we want to make sure that our energy about them is really positive. They're doing the best they can. A lot of them are thriving. They're doing well. They have a pack. They have a family. So I just want to just say we send blessings and love to the street dogs. So now, what can we do for Miranda, because she's feeling helpless and overwhelmed? Well, first of all, I want to remind you, Miranda, that your energy is really big. And your energy goes out to places that you may not even realize. So always sharing love and compassion, and never pity, because pity, I remember one time I learned a long time ago, pity is like a curse. When you pity someone like a homeless person, you're actually cursing them. Instead of sending love and compassion and saying, oh my gosh, I love you, I see you, I hear you, just acknowledging them is so incredibly powerful. And knowing that when you go into the shelter and you're sharing a session with one animal, other animals are going to benefit. So Kelly said on the call, that wasn't recorded, sorry, Kelly McDermott Burns, who is the SARA director, she was on the call. Thank you so much, Kelly, for showing up. And I'm so sorry I didn't hit record. But Kelly was talking about when she was at the shelter once, and she was sharing a session with a dog, and around the corner there were two volunteers, and she overheard them say, oh my gosh, I love it when she comes in because the animals become so peaceful. And I know when we go to care, and Kelly and I just taught a level 3 at care, just a couple weeks ago. Kristen says, and Kathleen teaches, by the way, Kathleen Prasad teaches a level 3 there every February, that when we come and the students share Reiki with the animals, that the animals are completely zen and blissed out for like a week. It's like completely peaceful on this very loud property. And it's really cool because when we go, and I think I've shared this before, so sorry for repeating myself, but when we go, it's a very noisy, sanctuary. There's farm animals, there's wild birds, there's, a liger that roars, and the tigers are chuffing. It's loud. But, so the first day it's still a little bit loud and we're sharing Reiki. Second day, it's a little bit quieter. By the third day, you can hear a pin drop. No lie. It is silent. It's almost eerie how silent it is. So just know your energy is going out. And if you're going on a consistent basis, your energy is building on itself. So it's spreading and it's building. So Kelly also made a great suggestion to Miranda, and this is for all of you who might be feeling like Miranda, might be feeling a little bit hopeless, a little bit overwhelmed, that having a meditation, like a meditation share with a group outside, like in the park where the street dogs are, with the community, and just sharing what you're doing, just even leading them through the gratitude meditation could be really empowering and bringing them into the process of supporting animals. A lot of people feel overwhelmed. They don't want to go to the shelter, but they want to help animals. So you can say in your community, you know what, I would love to dedicate meditation sessions to the wild, or to the street animals, the wild animals, whatever that is. And you could say, meditation is really beneficial for animals just like it is for humans. And we can talk a little bit more about that on another session. But it was such a great idea, and I love that. So thank you, Kelly, for suggesting that. And so then we also, so Miranda also had hurt her neck and shared that during the meeting. And so we had some really beautiful messages that I want to share that were, and this is why I love this community so much. So Kelly says, and then Kelly was saying too that when we are talking about a session not going well, or when we're feeling overwhelmed by not being able to do enough, we're bringing our very human perspective of limitation into the session. So by that, we mean that our mind limits how far we think our energy goes. So we think maybe our energy is confined to our body, or if we're sharing it with an animal in front of us, our energy is confined to the space. But it doesn't make a lot of sense, because for those of you who share distance sessions, you're actually sharing something that is going further, right? It's going sometimes thousands of miles. So your energy goes far. It really goes back to your intention. I intend for my energy to go everywhere. I intend for my love and light to go everywhere. Just know that your limiting beliefs limit your energy. But when you realize you are an unlimited being, and I promise you, you are, and science proves this, that your energy can go anywhere and everywhere. We are all connected. This is also quantum physics. It's not woo-woo. It is scientifically proven. So just trust that. So thank you, Kelly. And then when it comes to pain, we are taught, this is from Ann Sherman, that we are taught to grip our pain. Animals do not grip their pain. Again, that's why I was talking about how they can transcend the physical and come up here to the space of love. We need to be able to do that and join them. So don't focus on the pain of what's happening, your own personal pain, or anything else. They're not focused on it. For a street dog, they're focused on survival. They're not focused on their pain. And that's why you see a lot of animals who are near death, who are struggling to stay alive. As soon as they go to sanctuary, they pass away. And that's because they let go of that fight. And they're no longer in that body of pain. Now they're feeling love. They're feeling that peace. And now they can let go. And what a beautiful offering to be able to be there to help an animal pass peacefully, as opposed to pass feeling lonely in the streets. And so when Miranda shared, and I'm going to move this over just a little, when Miranda shared about her neck injury, the community immediately responded. So Lisa LaRose said, I think all of us, even in this group, can offer distant Reiki to you and your street dogs to support the universal energy level. And then Mary Lynn said, group effort, let's do it. And Kathleen O'Hara said, wonderful thought, Lisa. Miranda, how would you like us to support you and the animals? And then Miranda, of course, was open to distant Reiki. And then for Lisa LaRose, make sure you recharge your own energy. And then Anna Lane said to all of us, trust the process. It helps, it works. So again, just backing up that belief that we are huge energy bombs. Like we are the sun, we are boom, just shining out that love and compassion. Remember, when you're angry, when you're upset, you're also sharing that. So try and focus on bringing love and gratitude into your heart. And then Kathleen O'Hara said, so perhaps we send Reiki to you, meaning to Miranda. And then Sharon Matzo said, would love to offer a Reiki session to Miranda. And then Lisa LaRose said, universal energy is huge and limitless, and you are the conduit for the power of healing. So thank you all so much for those beautiful words of encouragement, because words mean something, words matter. And speaking of that, I don't know if you all have seen that video of me and Tyrion the lion. So Tyrion is a lion at care, and I was doing a little video about him, and he was laying in his pool. And I think when I started, he wasn't, but he got into his pool. I was calling him Pigpen because the other two tigers are female, and they're always white. Like their little faces are white. Their bodies, the white parts of their bodies are always white. They're very clean little tigers. But Tyrion is really dirty. He's always got dirt on his nose and his face. And oh my gosh, he's so funny. So he got in his pool when I was talking about him and calling him Pigpen. Now, I didn't know this is something he does. This is a trick he does. But he laid down in the pool, and his pool is only half full because he would get in his pool, soak up as much water as he could, and just jump out without shaking and get his whole enclosure all muddy. So they had to give him half the water, which is still fine. He gets lots of water. It's still, even when it's warm, he gets lots of, coolness. But anyway, so he goes in there, he is soaking up all the water. And then when I was signing off and I said, so that's why we call him Pigpen, he slams himself on the chain link fence to spray me with tiger sweat and water. And I was covered. And you'll see me at the end go, jump out of the way. So Kristen, the founder, said, yeah, that's what he does. It's his like trick that he learned when he wants to be naughty. But for me, I really felt he was saying that because he didn't like I was calling him Pigpen. So words matter. That's why ending our session with positivity, or when we think about animals in distress, we send love and positivity, because words have energy, and energy connects. And that energy, when we're talking, and this is why I hate it on Facebook when people post pictures and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's so sad, that's so sad, that's so sad. It's instead of I send love and light to this animal, I send love and light to the situation, right? That's so much more powerful. So let's do that. So I just want to make sure I'm going to go over my notes here. Mary Lynn, one more thing. Mary Lynn brought up something really important. So Mary Lynn talked about a kitten that was transitioning. She was in hospice, and she had, I'm not sure if she had cancer or something was going on with her, but she was in hospice. And Mary Lynn was very upset at the thought that this poor little animal was transitioning. And so I told her, and some of the other members kind of reemphasized that we want to hang on to the fact, and I think this was Kelly that brought this up. We want to hang on to the fact. We want to fight the flow. In fact, this was Kelly. Kelly said, we want to fight the flow of what's happening in life. So we want to fight our own death. We want to fight the death of our loved ones. We want to fight the death of a beloved animal. We want everybody to live forever, and that's not possible. So we bring ourselves out of flow, and now we're in fight. Instead, when we're in flow and we can say, I honor this process, and give the animal love and compassion every single day. And same with people, bringing love and compassion to their situation every single day, so that when they let go, when they release, when they go to their next journey, they're doing it with peace. And so that is so powerful. And thank you, Mary Lynn, for bringing that up, because that is so important for transitioning animals, for transitioning humans. We're thinking about ourselves. How is this making me feel? But we're not thinking about our loved ones sometimes. And so just acknowledging that I am sad that you're going, but I love you. And I am so grateful for all the time that I have been with you. Again, bringing gratitude into this space, and gratitude heals. And I'm here to tell you, you cannot be mad or angry if you're grateful. So focus on gratitude. And that's why we begin our sessions, bringing this all full circle. That's why we always begin our sessions in gratitude, and we end our sessions in gratitude. So I think I covered all the comments. Again, I am so sorry that I did not hit record. I hope you enjoyed this video. Also, be sure if you're not on our mailing list and you're not going to get the recap is going to go out Friday, November 11th, I think it is, right? What is today? Today is, oh no, Friday the 10th. Sorry, tomorrow. But if you miss it, you can always email me, Leah at Shelter Animal Reiki Association.org. It's such a long name. Leah, Leah, at Shelter Animal Reiki Association.org. Thank you all so much. And I will see you next week. And I promise, no matter what, I will hit record. Okay. And maybe one of you can remind me. Thank you.